Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube? It's the one and only ladondada, aka Don Dada, you know it's murder. What's up, DYM? Today we're gonna be reacting to why Myth's Twitch return failed. Now, I knew, well, I didn't know, but I just seen like Myth's streaming on Twitch again all of a sudden. I never seen his announcement. All I know is he left and that he just somehow came back when OG Fortnite came back. That's all I know. I don't know how and why it failed. Myth, hey, he was one of the best Fortnite players of all time. I ain't gonna lie. When I seen Myth, I was like, yo, how he building like that? How he going so fast? I mean, but nowadays he might be outplayed. Tfue took over. Tfue, I'm like, this Tfue like Kobe in the 81 points. Bruh, I'm telling you. But hey, Myth, if you watching this, you still a GOAT, my boy. Don't care what nobody say. Let's get into this video.
Myth's career has turned into nothing less than a disaster, as he was once the second most followed Twitch streamer back in 2018, and regarded as one of, if not the best player in Fortnite Battle Royale. However, nowadays, he can be seen streaming to less than 1,000 viewers, a number almost unfathomable considering that he used to average over 30,000. What could have possibly
But y'all gotta
happened to
realize
Myth
we
that
also
caused
got
him
older,
to lose
man.
almost his entire
Nobody trying to watch
audience?
Fortnite.
Was it the
I'm sorry.
decline of his skill in Fortnite, his switch to YouTube, or something completely different? In order to understand, we need to go all the way back to before Myth ever played his first match of Fortnite.
We gotta go. I watched so many videos of this.
November of 2013, when he would initially create
I'm
his
telling you, I
YouTube
know the
channel.
whole backstory.
Most of his
by now.
content would be low-effort Call of Duty.
Literally told his mom one more year.
And wouldn't receive.
I know
many
it.
views
I already
around
know
this
the story.
time. However, that would all change when in May of 2016,
doing
Myth
this.
would begin live streaming on a website called twitch.tv. Most of his early content would be on a small game called Paragon. Paragon had a small community of players, which would help Myth eventually build an audience of about 50 concurrent viewers every stream. This is also where Myth began posting YouTube videos of stream highlights, and he would get a couple thousand views on each clip. Despite the community he was building, Myth knew that he would always be capped by the small community that was the game Paragon. If he really wanted to make streaming a career, he would need to switch games to something bigger. And luckily for him, a new game would come out on September 26th of 2017 called Fortnite.
No one
Battle
ever.
Royale.
I never thought
Myth
that
would play
game would blow
Fortnite
up
on the
to
very
how it
first
is
day it
today.
came out. And despite averaging even less viewers than he would playing Paragon, he was confident that Fortnite would become the next big game. On top of that, Myth would become one of, if not the best player in the early days of Fortnite, achieving a staggering 22 wins only a few days after the game was released, which sparked even the official Fortnite Twitter to shout him out saying, 22 wins so far and many more to come. From this point forward,
I ain't gonna
Myth made
lie,
it a
bro.
point
He
to
was
stream
unstoppable,
every
I'm
single
telling
day, logging the
He
wins
had to
of his
be
stream
Prime Shaq
title
or
and
something,
posting
bro.
clips to his YouTube. By consistently doing this strategy, it would only be a
Like,
matter
this
of
might
time
look hella
before
slow
Myth would
now,
find
but back in
himself
the day,
a
he was
situation
a
that would explode his
mastermind
Twitch
builder.
channel. On December 1st of 2017, Myth would be doing a normal stream playing Fortnite. That was until he would run into one of the most popular streamers in the world, Summit1G, who happened to be streaming the game at the same time. Myth would absolutely destroy Summit in this clip, showing building skills that no one else was able to do at the time.
What the fuck? He keeps building higher.
Summit!
Stop building so fucking high! Stop it! What? What's happening? What just happened?
Let's go, baby!
He kept building up and building up and building up, and I couldn't catch him. 1,400.
I ain't
This
gonna
would quickly
lie.
make waves shortly after it came out, as building alone was something that most players didn't have the ability to use efficiently, and Myth being able to build up so high so quickly was truly amazing. Over the next few days, Myth would consistently
That
gain
junk kinda
viewers
look
on
dirt
every
now,
stream.
but back in the day, it
200
was
viewers
crazy,
would
I'm
turn
telling
into
you.
400, which would turn into 600 over the next month. On top of that, Myth's YouTube content would begin gaining major traction near the end of 2017, posting videos of
600?
many 20+ kill games, which made him one of the top streamers on Twitch at the time. However, it was safe to say that this was only the beginning. 2018 would become known as the most popular year for Fortnite as a game. Not only would the player count of the game rise, but the competitive scene would also start gaining a ton of recognition. Only a few days into the year, Myth would sign a contract with Team Solomid as the captain of their Fortnite team, also recruiting some of the other most popular Fortnite pros, including Daquan and Hamlins. Shortly after this, Myth would achieve a staggering 1,000 total solo wins on January 26th, after only about 3 months of
He
playing
still got
the
more
game.
than me. I guarantee you that.
Let's get it.
And 3, and 2.
I got nowhere close to 1,000.
It looks so pretty, man.
1K for 1K. Let's get it, Bark.
This era is what many would consider the peak of Myth, as he began to collaborate with numerous people in the Fortnite scene, including Ninja, and other streamers in his new content house. Many of these videos would also gain view counts into the millions, and his viewer count on Twitch would climb to over 30,000 nearly every day. Despite Myth clearly being one of, if not the best player in the game, arguments began to arise that Ninja was actually better than him. There would be multiple clips of Ninja killing Myth on stream, and Myth killing Ninja on stream, making many people question who's the better player, Myth or Ninja.
I ain't gonna lie, this was a rivalry. It's like
exclusively based on their gameplay.
Kobe
and
or
occasional
LeBron. I'm
encounters
telling you, this
online.
was like a
Therefore,
rivalry.
there would only be one way to truly find out who's better. In March of 2018, Ninja announced that he was working on creating the very first IRL Fortnite tournament. This event would feature many of the most popular streamers and pro players around the world, facing off on equal footing to see who's the best in the game. Myth would be a top contender and the favorite to win the tournament from fans, with him even seeming extremely confident before the first match started.
Thank you so much, Myth, for coming out. How are you feeling coming into this final heat trying to destroy Ninja?
I feel really, really confident in my ability to do that task. Like, so the main feeling that I'm feeling right now is like super anxious. I just want to get up there and just like play, like, never mind this interview, let me just on there, you know? But that's like, those are my feelings pretty much, so.
Little did Myth know, this tournament would turn into an absolute disaster, as in the very first game of the event, Myth would die in one of the most unfortunate ways possible.
I was gonna play the high ground early, and then, yeah, so then I got the position. I got the position that I wanted it, I wasn't contested, and then as the circle kind of shifted away from the hill, I decided to, there's a player playing underneath me, so we got into a little skirmish, and then off the side of the hill, I like encountered one of the rarest bugs in the game, which is like when you make an edit or like build something, it will just fling you off. And so that happened, and it was really unfortunate.
The rest of the
I ain't
tournament
gonna
wouldn't
lie,
go
he
much
better
better
than me.
this,
I would've started
as
throwing
Myth died
everything.
in the second game in 49th
I would've
place,
started going
and
crazy.
in the third game at
If I would have died like that, hey, they would have had to call security. I'm telling you, I'm raging now. I'm tossing everything, bro.
60 seconds. This
no way, I just-
didn't even seem possible
I just got
for
into this
Myth,
tournament,
as the
I've
skill he
seen,
portrayed
and
in
I
his
died.
streams was completely different from his performance in the tournament. Despite his disappointing placement in the tournament, he would still average the same amount of viewers he had before he left. However, now that the question of if Myth is the best Fortnite player was out of the books, it would only be a matter of time before his viewers would begin to decline. It was clear at this point that Myth may have just had a bad day at the tournament, and he was still clearly very good at the game. Maybe the next tournament would be different. However, this is also where a new wave of Fortnite streamers began to show up. Tfue was one of, if not the most popular
Tfue was
rising
T.
streamer around this
Myth
time.
was not
Myth
keeping
would
up
even
with
go on
Tfue.
to make a video with Tfue, which would go on to become one of the most watched to date with over 10 million views. Despite this, the rise in Fortnite skill gap between Myth and the top player would begin to get larger and larger. And with Myth's skill being one of the main factors on his rapid rise
Tfue
to
was
fame,
frying,
this would prove to be
bro.
the
When I
beginning
tell
of
you-
the end of his streaming career. 30k viewers would quickly turn into 20k, which would turn into less than 10k near the end of 2018. Myth's Fortnite reputation was vanishing into thin air, as he had been taken over by an entire new wave of streamers,
Bro, they
which
were
in
so
2019 would result in his average viewership being only a little over 6,000. It seemed at this point that Myth wouldn't be able to regain his falling career. But when all seemed lost, Myth still had a plan. The year of 2020 would be very up and down for Myth. For one, he had almost completely stopped playing Fortnite and switched to other games, the first of which being Call of Duty, which wouldn't perform well at all. However, for the next game, it would be a completely different story. During April of 2020, Myth would begin playing the beta for a game called Valorant. This game absolutely exploded on Twitch around this time, as not only was everyone everyone quarantined, but the only way to get access to the beta was to unlock a key by watching Twitch streamers. Myth was one of the chosen streamers to give out these keys, and he would stream a lot during this month.
Oh, shoot, 80
higher numbers than he did in his peak Fortnite days. Not only that, but he was gaining
80,000?
hundreds of thousands of new followers every week. It seemed as though Valorant would be the game to bring Myth back to the forefront of Twitch. However, this again would prove to be far from the truth. After the initial hype for Valorant died down, Myth's viewer count would go back to normal. It seemed as though the only time his viewer count would actually rise was whenever there was either an event going on or a game exploding on Twitch. Regardless, Myth's career would fizzle out more and more by the day. It was at the point where he knew that he had to do something to try and restore his dying career, and his next decision would be his biggest ever. On July 11th of 2022, Myth would upload a video to his YouTube channel titled "I Moved to Streaming on YouTube."
Decisions have made me who I am, and this is my decision.
This video would shockingly receive lots of support from other streamers
I ain't
and
gonna
viewers,
lie.
as they saw it as an opportunity
Ain't nothing
for
wrong
Myth
with
to
streaming
rebuild
on
his
YouTube,
community.
but-
His first stream on the platform did extremely well, gaining over 140,000 total views and tons of support from fans. However, the initial hype wouldn't last for very long, as Myth would once again notice a significant decrease in viewers nearly every stream, to a point where only a few months after the switch, he had streams with less than 10,000 collective views, and many that had under 100 concurrent viewers. An absolutely
I tuned
incredible
in with
decline
Myth,
from
like,
the 30,000 average
like
he was
100
getting
or
just
like
a couple years
60
prior,
viewers.
with one
I
exception of Fortnite OG,
I ain't gonna lie, I
where he would
did.
only get an influx of viewers simply trying to reminisce the past. Despite this, it seemed as though Myth would never be able to regain his dying reputation, as the only reason viewers would watch him was to either reminisce on the past or hear about why he fell off, which he would even make a video about in August of 2022.
But then we need to obviously map the decline here. What happened, Myth? The thing that you guys are probably all curious about. Genuinely, I think the main contributors to this were me not being able to keep up and kind of hold that position as being the Fortnite guy and being like successful and competitive. As you guys know, like I got a pretty laughable competitive history in Fortnite. I didn't do well. I was super young, 18 or 19. And I was arrogant, you know, I got cocky, I had all this success, and I was like, I'm the man, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing it my way, and this is great, like, but when that happens, if you don't have the right, I'm not gonna say the right people around you, but if you're in a position, you're just an arrogant ass teenager, and you're getting all this success, it's gonna be easy for that success to slip out of your hands, I feel like, if you're not genuinely looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, hey, how could I improve? Who should I be listening to? How could I get help to keep this going? I personally was the type of person where I never wanted help. I never wanted to have to rely on somebody else for the answers. And
Oh, nah,
I
that's
genuinely
your
think if
issue
I was
right
a little
there,
bit less
Myth.
arrogant and was more accepting to help, I probably would have not had this decline that we see here throughout, you know,
Oh my
August,
gosh,
September into early 2019. There are a lot of moments where I would be sitting staring at the fucking go live button and I would just cry. I would really break down because I knew that right as soon as I go live, I was gonna get shit on. I was gonna be told to myself. I was gonna be told that I'm worthless and that I should quit.
Many people
I
thought
ain't
that when
gonna lie,
Myth
that's
finally
crazy.
returned to Twitch, he would
That
really
is
be able to
crazy.
regain his status as a
That's
top
crazy
streamer,
to be
and
telling me
this
you
would
would
be
be
his
the
final
guy.
chance to rebuild his community from the ground up. When Myth's contract would finally end in July of 2024, he would do one final stream playing Fortnite Battle Royale, followed by a video titled "I'm Gonna Take a Break," where he would state that he's going on an indefinite break from streaming, and he doesn't exactly know when he'll be back. However, he's still so grateful for everything he's been able to accomplish.
That
in
was
his
the
streaming
last
career.
time I
And
seen
then
him,
on
bro.
December 6th of 2024, Myth would come back to streaming on Twitch. In this stream, he would once again be playing OG Fortnite, which would prove to be a major hit with his audience, as he would average over 10,000 viewers for the first couple days, and seemed to be very optimistic for his future in streaming. Although, like his switch to YouTube, those viewers wouldn't stay for long. Myth's viewers would quickly drop into
Dang!
the lower
Oh my
thousands
gosh!
only a month after he started streaming again
wrong
on
with
Twitch,
Myth?
and
Why
then
y'all don't
even
like
to
Myth?
under 1,000 that point onward. Despite all of Myth's success in the early days of Fortnite, he still wasn't able to sustain the viewer base he initially blew up from. Despite the incredibly depressing downfall of Myth's reputation, I don't think he really cares about the numbers as much anymore. He was able to make millions of dollars from streaming and still has a large community of people who watch his content. Not just that, but he left a legacy on streaming and content that will be remembered for the rest of each of our lives. Myth's story also proves that being the first to something isn't always the best, as he was one of the first ever Fortnite streamers to blow up, which also made him one of the first to fall off when he was quote-unquote washed up. A legacy that was very similar to Ninja's. Ninja would completely destroy his reputation.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, but people still watch Ninja. I can't hold. People still be watching Ninja regardless. I will say that. Ninja was averaging like 100+ K. But anyways, man, further ado, man, we gonna wrap this up. This your boy ladondada, man. I love y'all, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all night.